Hello everybody. I This is Max. I have quite a few customers. Max is I don't know, 13 14 week old ish miniature golden doodle, and I have quite a few customers with little guys like this, and they can be a real handful. They stay relatively small, so they're always kind of cute and fuzzy, and it seems like the cute and fuzzy dogs get away with murder a lot of times because they're so cute and fuzzy. And Max is no exception. He's been a real handful for his owners, and so I decided that I was gonna work with him a little bit on my own to try to, I don't know, I guess you could say whip him into shape a little bit so that he's not quite so hard to handle for the owners in the training that I do with the owners. So he's had a little bit of our basic training already with the owners, like I say, but he's just has a little bit too much energy for his own good sometimes, and the owner just needed a break. So we have him here, and I'm gonna try to do a series of videos with him and get him to respond. So right now at this moment, I've got this long, real lightweight little rope on with no loop on the end, no knots in the rope, so that he can run around. I'd say this is probably about 10 feet long or so that he can, and I put one like this in the house about 5 feet long, and let him run around, but still I have some control of him without having to reach for him. A lot of times with these little guys, when they're doing things wrong, even a bigger dog, but when they're smaller, they're doing something, and we kind of lean towards them to grab them or to stop them, and then they interpret that as a little bit of a game sometimes, where they start doing their bob and weave game with you, and before you know it, you can't catch them. They're so quick, they're so small. So I tell people, just put a lightweight little rope on there. Same thing in the house, and instead of lunging for them to try to stop them from doing something, just grab that little rope, and now you can control them. You have the steering wheel under control. So I'm gonna just put them down and see what happens, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna go over to a leash in a moment. Oh, stretch it out, Max. Come on, Max. Let's just see what you're gonna do. Now, as you all know, all of my videos are unedited. Oh no, off. So see how there he jumped up on me, and I just kind of twisted away, and with the tone of my voice being that of disappointment more, I said, oh no, and I twisted and moved him off balance so that he would get off of me. I'm stepping on the rope right now because I wanted to finish my sentence, and in case he was going to start to go somewhere, I didn't want him to. I wanted to keep him here. Now he's not. He's sitting right here real nice and calm. So let's just see what happens, okay? Like I said, I'm going to go over to a leash and do a little formal loose leash walking with him in a minute. Come on, Max. Come on, let's go. Come on. You don't want to get your paws wet on the wet grass? Come on. Good boy. Good boy, man. Come on. Good boy, Max. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? What you doing? No. What you doing, Max? No. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, Maxie. Come on, Maxie. Today's the first day that I have him here, and I just want him to become a little bit accustomed to where we're at, so that he's not shy. I want him to feel a little bit more comfortable. So I'm not being real formal right now. I'm going to be a little bit with the leash, but I'm not even using treats or anything like that. I'm just trying to be a regular person and not be too demanding of him right now for this first lesson here. Right, Max? You seem real chilled out though, Max. I don't know. Where's all this energy? Come on, let's go. Come on. Good boy. So you see, he was laying there. I don't know what showed up in the camera, but he was laying here on the blacktop, nice and cool, I suppose, right now in the shade. And he didn't really want to come, so I started to walk away. And as I got a little further away, his mind starts to trigger. Oh, he's going somewhere without me, but he still didn't get up. And I had to give him two little gentle, rewind, and you'll see I gave him two little gentle tugs on the leash or the rope as I got a little further away from him, and he willingly got up to follow me. Again, everything that we do with these guys is a training moment, so you have to always be training and recognizing what you're doing, what he's doing, what you're not doing, and what he's not doing. So right now, I don't know if he's in the picture or not on this camera, but he's just sitting here again, real nice and calm in the shade, relaxing. He probably isn't going to want to go and walk with me if he's relaxing nice here in the shade. And that's one thing that we've noticed about Max, is he does seem to like the shady areas. I'm not saying that necessarily that he doesn't like the sun, but he does seem to like the shady areas. At home too, he's got his favorite little pine tree that he likes to hang out by. Come on, Max. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. So again, this 10-foot or whatever this is, 10, 12 foot long rope puts a little distance between me and him. You've heard me talk about my acronyms, my different acronyms that I like to utilize. The DDD, distance, distraction, duration. So at this 10 or 12 foot length, he may tend to think that I don't have any control over him and potentially get naughty meaning maybe want to wander off on his own or whatever. So there was a little leaf in the driveway over here that he went for. I didn't really care, but I didn't want him to go for it, so gave him a gentle little tug and said leave it, and he did, and he kind of followed on through. Again, now I know he's off camera now, but he's just sitting there again being patient. So you have a steering wheel here. I can put a lot of distance between me and him, 10, 12 feet, giving his brain the idea that I don't have control over him, but I really do, so I can still steer him. Come on, Max. Let's go. Good boy. Come on, Max. Good boy. Good boy, Max. What you got there, huh? What you got there? Good boy, Max. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so you get the idea. Now I'm going to put a leash on him. I'm going to be a little bit more formal. I'm still not going to be using treats. We want him to loose leash walk nicely on the left-hand side. He kind of does that a little bit already. I'm just going to reinforce it. And then I'm going to maybe throw in one more. This training is for him, but it's also for you guys out there watching this. Most training moments shouldn't last more than about 5 or 10 minutes. You can do 10 of them in a day if you want, but not more than about 5 or 10 minutes. This video is probably going to end up being a 15-20 minute video or so, and I'm going a little bit longer with the training moment with Max for the sake of the video. But you guys remember, just do 1 or 2 of these things at a time and then go take a break. Like now, after you do this little exercise with the long cord, go in the house and have a cup of coffee or whatever, come back out in an hour and do the next thing, which is going to be this loose leash. Then if I have a good result, I'm going to try to work on a loose leash walk, but I'm also going to try to work on a sit and stay and put a little distance between me and him. I might use this again. We'll see how this goes. Hey, don't eat the grass. Don't eat the grass. What are you doing there, huh? What are you doing there? I don't want this distraction to be around, so I'm going to wind up this cord and get it out of the way. Actually hang it right here on the easel. There we go. And now with Max, I'm going to go into a little bit more of a formal mode. Oh, you're getting a little animated all of a sudden there? Leave it. Good boy. Sit. Good boy, Max. Good boy. No. When they jump up like that, especially the little guys, the cuter ones are the ones, don't touch them. As soon as he jumped up, I retreated my hand away from him. I used my disappointed no kind of tone to him. And if he would have landed on, on that time he didn't land on my leg, but if he would have landed on my leg, I would have moved to knock him off balance. Not to knee him or anything like that. I don't mean that kind of movement. I mean just move so that he misses you or falls off of you. Don't even touch him with your hand to push him off, because now you've touched him, and you've seen how I've mentioned that in other videos, I think. Even touching him is success as far as he's concerned, so the more I jump, the more he touches. So don't even touch him. Knock him off balance. Use a tone of voice that's disappointment, not anger. No. And again, now he's just laying there. You want to go for a... What do you see? Nothing. Okay. You want to go for a walk, Max? Heel. Little tug to get him up. Little tug to get him over. Now you see how he's going away from me? I'm going to bring him back. Gently bring him over to the left-hand side. Sit. Heel. Leave it. Sit. Heel. Boy. Heel. Okay, so you can see I made a couple minor little corrections, where a slight little tug, and then I backed up a couple of feet, and with the right hand I took up the slack, with the left hand I directed him over again to my left hand side. As I was backing up, that gave him a couple of things were accomplished. That gave him the opportunity to spin around, and then I take a step forward, so he spins around and falls into the correct position. So we want to help him get back into the right space. The other advantage to going backwards, and you've heard me say this before, the advancement in a walk is as much of a reward to a dog as giving him a treat. In other words, if he's not doing what I want him to do in the walk, a nice loose leash walk, but I keep walking, what I'm doing is I'm rewarding him and saying, okay, you can keep pulling me or going all different directions, I'm going to keep going. By backing up 2, 3, 4, 5 feet, depending on how much you have to back up. Sometimes if the offense is really bad, you got to back up 5 or 6 feet. If it's not so bad, maybe 2 or 3 feet. By backing up, what we're doing is we're going back over old territory. We're going back over old ground that he's already smelled that 5 or 6 feet. He knows what's in that 5 or 6 feet. There's nothing new there for him to smell. So there's no reward until we get past that 5 or 6 foot area, and he now starts to pick up some new smells. The new smells are distractions, which might make him get a little bit out of bounds again. I got to back up 5 or 6 feet. So by backing up and then taking a step forward and controlling the length of the leash and directing with my right hand and directing him with my left hand, I can bring him back into position correctly with ease, as well as bring him back over the old stuff so that there's no new distractions to reward him with. He loves all of these smells, whatever the deer that were out here, the coyotes, the raccoons, the rabbits, whatever that he smells that we can't smell, he smells. So remember, backing it up a few feet accomplishes 2 things. So we're going to do this again one more time. He's being a really good student right now, just sitting here without pulling me or doing anything. I like that. Left hand side, start with my left foot first when I want to walk. You wait for me. Good boy. Heel. Leave it. Set. Heel. So when we are going to walk and we want him to walk with us, I use the word heel. I keep him on my left hand side, and I start with my left foot first. Now I'm going to try to do something with him that I know he hasn't done yet, and that's a sit stay at about the length of this leash. So I'm going to try to get him to sit. I'm going to try to step away from him and have him stay there. And I have to be careful that I don't accidentally tug on the leash, because if I accidentally tug on the leash, I'm giving him a different signal, which is to come. So I may have verbally and even with my hand asked him to stay, but if I accidentally tighten up on the leash and accidentally just give it a little bit of tension, his brain is going to probably interpret that as, okay, I don't have to stay anymore, I can come, and I'm going to accidentally pull him off. So it's very important that you don't make the mistake of giving him a different signal without you even realizing that you did. If he gets up and moves off the spot because he just wants to be with me, then I'm going to bring him back to that same spot. So I always tell people to try to find a place when you're going to do this losing my brain here. When you're going to try to do this exercise, try to find a spot like right here. I don't know if the camera can see it. There's a dark spot where a stone probably was in this blacktop at one point in time. So I'm going to use that spot. If he gets up and moves off, I'm going to bring him back to as close to that same spot as possible. So I need to have a visual spot. He doesn't. He can smell that he's back at the same spot. I have to have a visual spot that I can bring him back to so that he doesn't get little incremental advancements along the way here. Remember, the advancement in the walk is a reward, so we want to try to bring him back to the same spot. I'm going to do the same thing when we come back towards the camera. I'm going to try to find a spot over there to bring him back to if he breaks. Okay? The other thing is, Now I'm going to step away from him with my right foot first. As I step away from with my right foot first, I'm going to give him a signal, and I'm also going to tell him to stay. If I were to go with my left foot first, if we're consistent with the loose leash walk and the heel, he's going to learn that left foot first means heel, we're walking. It's also uncoordinated to try to turn my body with my left foot in front of me and give him the heel position. You can see how I'm actually wobbly by trying to do that, okay? But if I go with my right foot first, that's a very coordinated way to turn my body, tell him to stay, and then continue to walk away from him. Now, initially, I'm going to walk away looking at him. Today we're not going to get any further than that because we're almost at the end of this training session and this video. But eventually I want to be able to walk away with my back to him. Okay? So, let's try to do this. Max, come here. Sit. Stay. No. No. Sit. Stay. No. Okay, good thing if he gets up and breaks many times in a row. That's actually a good thing because we're going to start to trigger his brain to try to figure out, he's going to try to figure out what I really want him to do. Come here. Sit. Stay. No. Stay. Max, heel. Sit. Good boy. So you saw what I did there. He stayed. I didn't accidentally tug on the leash. When I asked him to heel, I backed up a few steps and then took a step forward. Again, we'll do it one more time and then I'll try to do it on the way back. Come here, Max. Come here. This is my steering wheel. Take up the slack, get my hand down here, and I can steer him around wherever I want. Sit. Stay. No. Sit. Stay. No. Come on. Pay attention. Max, sit. Stay. Heel. Good boy, Max. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Stay. Heel. Good boy. So he's focused on a distraction next to me. My neighbor has come outside and he made a noise over there. He saw, and now he's paying attention to the neighbor. Again, distraction. 3 Ds, distance, distraction, duration. They're the foundation to all of the training. I'm not going to go any further because he's been out here now for 15 or so, whatever length of time this video is. And I've reached the limit. I've actually pushed the limit. Remember what I said earlier. Just a couple of minutes, 5-10 minutes, and come back 10 times a day if you want to, but only 5 or 10 minutes. Now I'm going to put this back on to him and give him an opportunity to go and wander if he wants to. And then okay, go play. And whatever he wants to do, he can do. And that's it. Thanks. Have a good day.